Hi guys, and welcome to another episode in my Makeup Diaries series. I think we are now on episode 16, 17. I've completely lost track. I don't even know anymore. But if you're new to this, if you somehow stumbled across this video, let me tell you what I do in these. So basically, I'm going to show you probably 7 or 8 looks in this video. I haven't done all of the looks already, but these are just looks that I've kind of done either back to back or within a, short period of time, sometimes a long period of time. But I like to gather clips from all the looks that I do and just talk about all the products that I've used. This is a place for me to give you reviews on things that I don't talk about in dedicated videos, and also just give you inspiration for looks that you can do without showing you the actual tutorial, because usually I find for myself that I'm more inspired by seeing looks rather than seeing how something is done. I don't need the tutorial part. I just want to see the looks. I just want to see color combinations. I like being on Instagram and looking at pictures for that reason. A lot of the time I take inspiration from that, and I feel like this is just a good place to get my thoughts on certain products I'm using and stuff like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump in. I usually, in the first clip of the video, I will talk about the base products that I use. Most of the time I'm using the same kind of base every day because I'm not someone who cares to try new products that often. I simply don't care. I don't want to spend my money on it. I don't find it interesting. And so I just use what works. So I have very oily skin, and for that reason, these are my choices right now, and the choices that I always make because I have oily skin. So I do tend to stick to like matte foundations, matte powders, stuff like that. So I'm using the Lancome Tainted Old Ultra Wear foundation. This one is new, but I'm mixing it with the Urban Decay Stay Naked, which I talked about that in my previous Makeup Diaries because I bought this in a shade that was too dark for me at the time, thinking it would become my summer shade, but I realized that I think it's just too dark to ever become my summer shade. So I've been mixing this with the Urban Decay one because this one is too light for me, this one's too dark for me. Together they work really well, they wear well. They're not my perfect like foundation combination when it comes to wear time, but I get a very good solid 10 to 12 hours out of those before it starts looking a little bit not cakey, but before it starts to like break down, if you know what I'm trying to say. So that is my foundation combination that I'll probably be using in all of these looks. My concealer is the also from Lancome Tainted Old Ultra Wear All Over Concealer because I really love it. It's the reason I ended up buying the foundation because I love this concealer so much. It's a very solid medium to full coverage, very easy to blend out concealer, and I find the shade to just be perfect for me. My powder is the Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder. I've been using this for probably going on 2.5 years now, maybe 3 years. It's just affordable, it sets my makeup, I don't have anything bad to say about it, and I keep repurchasing it because it works very nicely for me. My brow products are the same. I'm using the CoverGirl Ultra Fine, I think it's called, brow pencil in the shade Soft Brown, and I'm using the West Barnes & Co. Pen to fill in my brows. This is the one that I use to kind of create hair-like strokes with. It's just perfect. I love this formula so much. I love the colors that they have. They work great for me. I can either use the shade Brew or the shade, what was the other one that I used? I haven't used the other one in a while. Roots. Because I just opened this one, and this one's like fresh, so I keep reaching for that one. But I can pretty much alternate them. They're both just like a very dark brown. So if you have kind of the same hair color and style that I do, I think you would really like this. I can usually get like 4, 5, 6 months out of one of these before it starts to like dry out and I'm done with it, which I feel like is really good considering that I use it basically every day. I don't always do my makeup, but maybe like 5 days out of the week, 5 or 6 days out of the week when I do my makeup, I use that product, and it lasts for a very long time for being the kind of product that it is. I also did some fake freckles today, and I'm just using the freckle pens from Lime Crime. I have both colors because I like to use both. I find it gives a little more of a natural look, even though I mean it's obviously fake freckles, it's not going to look perfectly natural, but I have the shade Cocoa and the shade Amber. I really like this as a freckle product. They're super easy to use, and I love the colors of them too. I feel like they work really nicely for me. My blush today is actually from the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing on my eyes, and it's the Simply Posh Citrus Punch palette. I'm using the shade here called Squeeze. Such a beautiful blush color. I mean, I love this. I also used this one as a blush in one of the looks that I did with this palette, and they're so beautiful as blushes. Like, I want Simply Posh to come out with a blush palette or like single blushes or anything. I feel like their eyeshadow formula would actually work beautifully as a blush formula as well. So just putting it out there, something to keep in mind if the brand's watching, which they probably aren't, but I think it's a beautiful palette. It is what I have on my eyes today. I've done 2 more looks with this, which will probably be 1 more look in this video. I'm filming the intro a little bit after I'm filmed a couple of other looks. I'm confusing myself here, but you know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I really like this palette. The only thing that I don't like about it is that this shade has hard pan. I've probably mentioned this already. Other than that, the color story is beautiful. Formulas are beautiful. I don't really have any complaints at all with this. I do have a code with Simply Posh. I will put all of my codes on the screen when I'm talking about the brands so that I don't have to mention them every single time, because I know that would get super annoying, and I have codes with a lot of different brands. So yeah, it will be down below in my description box as well. Everything will be linked down below. I'll make it very clear what is an affiliate link. So if you're wondering what I've gotten sent in PR, what I've bought myself, I'll also mark that down below so you can go check that out, because if I were to mention all of these things for all the products, you would all just leave, because it would be really boring. My highlighter today is the Noctilucent palette from Blend Bunny. I'm using the shade Enlightened because it's one of my favorites, and I thought yellow would just go really nicely with this look. I also have the green shade from this palette on my brow bone. My lashes today are the Dreamy Lashes from Lily Lashes. I've talked about these many times before, but these are from their Butterfly Eyes collection, and they're a very small pair of lashes, but they still look like a lash. I have very small hooded eyes, so if you have the same and you've been looking for kind of like an everyday lash that's easy to put on, great quality. I've probably worn these 10 times now and they're still going very strong. I really enjoy these lashes. I think they look really nice, and they're not like too much, so they're very easy to put on as well. Like I said, I really enjoy them. My waterline today, I'm using the yellow pencil from Unsai. This is the shade 03. I do find this needs quite a bit of building up compared to my other yellow liners, but I just picked the first yellow liner that I saw and I just decided to use it. So it's not my favorite out of the ones I have. I think the ColourPop one is actually my favorite out of all of my yellow eyeliners. And overall, like, ColourPop just has really good eyeliners. I really like them. There are very few colors that I've tried from ColourPop that I didn't like. Mostly it's just like the metallics, because I just don't really care for metallics in my waterline. But I think that all of the other colors that I have are really nice. My lip combo today is a lip liner from Melt in the shade Sepia, and on top I have a Gucci lipstick in the shade Penny Beige, because I thought this would be a really nice color to sort of go with this look, to have it be more of a brownie nude, and I think that was a good choice. Like, I think this works very nicely together. I think all the colors that I chose for my face work nicely with the eyes, and I think that's just because I actually knew what I was going to do with my eyeshadow before I started today. A lot of the time I don't know, and I just do my base and I do my eyes and they just don't really match, but today I was a good girl and I knew what I was doing, and so I decided to make sure that things made sense. I think that is pretty much it for all the makeup. My earrings and my ring, I'll probably get questions about these. These are from Betsey Johnson. I think I got them on, did I get them at TJ Maxx or Poshmark? Not really sure, but I love Betsey Johnson's jewelry, and I think it's just so fun and playful. And she has a lot of things that I like wearing in the summer more so than in the fall, because I just find that they're kind of like summery pieces, like these little bees, like these aren't really like a fall thing. So yeah, I decided to put them on today because I thought it would go nicely with this look, and I really like it. So I think that's gonna be it for the first look of the video. Just wanna make sure I'm not like forgetting anything. I should probably mention my eyeshadow primer as well. It's the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. I've been using this for probably a year, no, more than a year, 2 years now maybe. And my NYX glitter primer, which is my holy grail. I use it with all the shimmers that I ever use. Unless I can't find it, then I spray my brush with Fix Plus, but just assume that if I have a shimmer on my lid, I've used NYX glitter primer because it's just really nice. And the lash glue that I prefer using is the Dual Lash Glue in the blue tube. It has to be the blue tube. This is the glue that I find that is the least annoying, and like my biggest pet peeve with lash glues, because I double glue, I'll put glue on my lash line as well as on my lash band, and then I'll kind of plop them on together and they stick really nicely. But sometimes when I put glue on my top lid where the lashes is supposed to stick, if I'm not like super precise with it and I'm using a different glue, the glue will just stay tacky the whole time and it just like annoys my eyes. But this one like dries down completely, and I also find that it's really easy to take off of the lash band when you take the lash off and you still have glue on it. This one is really easy to like just rip off the lash band, and it comes off in just like nice chunks where you can just kind of throw it away. So yeah, I really like this lash glue. It's by far the best one that I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot of different ones and I haven't really liked any other ones. So I think that's basically gonna be it for today's look. So you're gonna probably see another 7 or 8. Get a snack, get a drink, enjoy, because here are the rest of them. I feel like we have a lot to talk about today because I actually tried quite a few new products. So we're gonna actually start with some base products. I don't really have a ton of opinions on this yet, but I got a really nice package from Milk and they sent me their Hydro Grip primer. And I have been wanting to try this for a very long time. I have very oily skin, like you guys know, and I've just had a bad experience in general with primers. I just feel like all the primers that I've ever tried have either made my foundation look worse or just done absolutely nothing at all. So I'm curious to see how this one is going to perform. When I put it on, it definitely made my skin feel very sticky. And I guess that's the whole point, is that your foundation sticks to it and like actually sticks throughout the day. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to work. And I can also actually see trying to use this as a bit of a glitter glue because it does dry down to like this really nice tacky finish. So I'm curious to see if, like, I'm wondering if this is eye safe. I mean, it says for external use only, like duh, but it doesn't say like not to use on the eyes. So I'm curious to maybe try that. I feel like it could be an idea. So far I really like it. Obviously I can't tell you anything else. It's my first time using it, but it didn't make my foundation do anything I didn't want it to do. So far so good. I'm also using this product on my lips. This is one of their cream blushes, but it says it's a, what is it called? Like lip and cheek duo? Lip and cheek tint? I don't know. This is in the shade Work, like W-E-R-K. And I'm not sure I love it as a lip product. I'm just not really into cream blushes. So I don't know if I'm necessarily going to use this on my face because I'm very much like a powder kind of girl. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to like make up my mind on that. I do love the color though. Like I think as a lip product, it's beautiful. I'm just using it with a lip liner in BFF from ColourPop. And I love the combination, but I feel like it's looking a little bit dry on my lips, which does make me feel like on the cheeks, it would probably like dry down to a matte finish, which would be a good thing. So yeah, I'm just not really sure. I'm gonna have to like make up my mind on this. Let's see, am I using anything else new today? Let's just go on with the face products. I'm using the Sigma products. I don't know if I talked about these in the previous one of these videos that I did, but Sigma sent me a really nice package with a ton of products. So I'm using the bronzer in the shade Medium. I like this bronzer a lot. I think the color isn't like perfect for me. It's a little too yellow tone, but it's a really nice formula. Honestly, I feel like I like the formula on this just as much as I like the formula on the Pat McGrath one, which I love, but I don't like the color on this one as much as the Pat McGrath one, even though they're quite similar. The Pat McGrath one is just a little bit more brown tone and this one is more yellow tone. So even though they're both warm toned, I don't know. It's just like a nuance thing that I just feel like I like the Pat McGrath one a little bit more. I'm also using a highlighter from Sigma. This is in the shade Twilight. I think this is so beautiful. It just gives like a really nice wet look to the face, and it's not, I don't feel like this is too light for me. And like looking at it in here, I really thought this would be way too light and just really icy, but it has more of a dark, you can probably see that when I flip it, it has more of a dark base to it, which works really nice for me. So yeah, I really like that so far. And I really love my blush today too. This is the House Labs blush in the shade Pomelo Peach. The more I use the House Lab blushes, the more I realize just how similar they are to the Pat McGrath formula. I feel like the formulas are honestly kind of identical. So if you like one, you would like the other two, and I think they're both beautiful. This, I would say the House Labs one is maybe a little bit less pigmented than the Pat McGrath ones, but it can easily be built up to be the same kind of pigment as the Pat McGrath blushes, and I just think it's absolutely stunning. I'm gonna put on just like a little bit more because I cannot help myself because I love blush so much. Oh, it's just so pretty and it's so effortless and it's so easy to apply. I love it so much, and the colors are so nice. As for my eyes today, I'm using another one of the Martine Cosmetics palettes. Don't think that you have seen any looks with these because I did film a look yesterday with the other palette that I have, which is the Diner palette. Now, I didn't do any talking or any clips like this because my microphone battery was completely out and I needed to charge it, but I still wanted to do my makeup. So I used this one. I'll show you the look that I did with this, and I really enjoy the look. I would say though, so far the formula in here, the mattes are wonderful. The shimmers kind of leave a little bit to be desired. It's just kind of meh. There's a lot of satins in here, and the shimmers are just not really super intense. I don't think they're bad by any means. It's just like a personal preference thing. Like, I wish they were a little more special, but they're still nice, and I really like the look, and I loved how it wore. And yeah, so far I'm having a good time with these, but not like a great time. So this is the other one that I have. This is called the Moolah eyeshadow palette, and it actually comes in like this box, but then you can take it out and it's just like a regular palette. So I kind of like that because it's just less bulky and easy to store. So I'm using a ton of the shades today. I'm using this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade. I think that's it, a little bit of this one. So I have like 8 shades on my eyes today, and again, I like the formula. I think the mattes here are, this green could have been a little bit more pigmented. I felt like I really had to build it up to be super intense. Same with this brown, but I get it, this brown is more of a transition shade. The dark mattes from Martine so far has been amazing. I did get a little bit of fallout with this black, but I only used it in the very outer corner to kind of like smudge my liner a little bit. But I think that the looks turn out really nice. Again, I like the end result. This shade is beautiful, which is what I have mostly all over my lid today. I think it's really pretty, but the other shimmers are, again, a little lackluster for what I'm looking for. I think they're totally fine. I mean, if you're not someone who wants super intense, metallic, sparkly, maybe a little bit on the sheer side kind of shimmers, and you'd probably love these. These are very basic, like metallics, I would say. Are they metallics? They're kind of like in between a metallic and a satin. They're not super shiny, but they're definitely like a shiny shadow, you know what I mean? So yeah, so far I like it. I'm gonna have to keep playing a little bit more with these. I did buy these myself, just so you know, because I was very curious about the brand. I'd heard really good things, and I love the color stories. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts so far. My lashes today are the Unicorn Dream lashes from Unicorn Cosmetics. These are a little bit smaller than the Dreamer lashes, which I absolutely love, but I also really like these. I think these are beautiful lashes, and yeah, Unicorn Cosmetics just has some really nice styles that I feel like suit me very nicely. So I think that's pretty much it, except for my eyeliner, which is from the Sephora collection. I bought this on recommendation from Angelica. This is in the shade Lime Green. And it's certainly lime green, and it looks really nice in the waterline. I'm gonna have to see like how it wears. I've only worn it once, and I wasn't really paying attention to how it wore that time, but I feel like it probably wore okay. I usually don't have problems with stuff in my waterline wearing well, because I don't have the most runny eyes unless I'm like outside and it gets windy. If it's windy, then my eyes will start to water immediately, or if there's like a fan in the room or something like that. As soon as like wind hits my eyes, it's over. So as long as I can stay away from that, I'm usually fine. So those are going to be my thoughts on the products that I used today. I don't know if I'm going to have time to keep playing with these as of right now. I did get a package from ColourPop yesterday with their new big palettes. Kind of making up my mind on whether or not I want to do something with that, but you'll see that right now, I guess. Alright, so this is the last look with the Wooden Side palettes. I did do a look combining the two today, kind of using a couple of shades from each, and I think it just turned out so good. I mean, I just love them as a brand. I love their formulas. I think the shimmers are beautiful. Their mattes are just foolproof every time. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about these two palettes. I don't have any hard pan in these. I think everything performs great. I love them. I think they're awesome. So for the other things on my face today, I'm using a combination of 2 foundations today that I don't think I've used before. I'm using the Very Valentino and the Lancome, because trying to foundation match in the summer, if you're like outside and you get a tan, it's just a pain in the ass. So I've just kind of been mixing. This one's too dark for me still. I don't know if it's ever going to be like an actual shade. I think I just bought it like a little too dark, but it's been great as a mixing shade. And since all of my foundations pretty much are like a neutral undertone, they all work nicely mixed together. And I don't know how these two are going to wear together, but I love this one. And so far I like this one mixed with anything else. So I'm sure it's going to wear great, and I think it looks really nice as well. My bronzer today is still the Sigma one. I'm still sort of playing around with this, but I think it's beautiful. It is, like I've said before, a little too warm, like yellow leaning to be my go-to bronzer, but depending on the looks that I plan on doing, I'm definitely going to reach for it. I'm using the Pat McGrath blush in the holiday palette from last year. I just cannot get enough of these. I think they're so pretty. My highlighter today is actually a shade from the palette. Did I use that in one of the other looks as well? I think so. It's from the Jewels and Gem palette, and it is this iridescent shade down here, which reminds me so much of Red Giant, I think it's called, from Terra Moons. It's very, very similar in a lot of ways. It also reminds me of the the one from Kaleidos. I think it's the gifted one. It could be the other one. Either way, the one that has like a red shift to it, very similar to the shade in this palette, and I think it's stunning. My lashes today are the Cyber Angel lashes from Unicorn Cosmetics. I kind of just, you know, trying to rotate between the ones I have, but I think these are so pretty. And I've only worn them once before, and I put them back in a box, and then I forgot that I had them. So, story of my life. These are stunning. They're like thicker on the outer like 2/3 or outer third, I would say, of the lash. It's almost like there's a double lash on like the last part here, which makes them like just give you more volume on the outer portion. And I think they're just really, really cool lashes. Let's see, what else? My lip combo today is the BFF lip liner from ColourPop, and on top I have the Flesh Fatale lipstick from Pat McGrath. It is just my favorite lipstick in my collection. If I could only keep one, I would probably keep this one, which is crazy, but every time I wear it, it just looks so good. It's so comfortable. I just feel really pretty in it, and I feel like it goes with pretty much any look despite it being kind of like a glittery lipstick. Which I don't know. There's something about like the glitter in it. It's very sophisticated. It doesn't feel gritty. It's super comfortable. It's very long lasting. It wears off like beautifully. I love this. Let's see, is that it? I think that might actually be it. Also, my jewelry is from the new Unsai collection. I don't know if I mentioned that in the other video. I don't think that I even said it, because I think I took off the necklace that I was wearing with one of the looks because it didn't go with the look at all. So I think that's probably it. But I'm wearing the earrings, and I'm wearing the bracelet, and I'm wearing the necklace, and I think they're just really pretty. So I think that's going to be it for today's look. Okay, so for today's look, have I used this in this video? Probably not. This is the new Citrus Punch palette from Simply Posh. I've now done 2 looks with this. I'm not sure. You've probably seen one of these in my previous Makeup Diary series if I had to guess. And I'm using quite a few shades in this. Well, not really that many. I'm using this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade. This shade, I'm having a very annoying case of hard pan in. It is really hard to like get anything up with this. I tried to scrape off the top. You can probably see I have a huge dent in that. I'm not sure if you can actually see. Yeah, you can see it there. Like it's formed like a hard layer on top. And it's just really hard to work with. Like I know the tape trick, I know the scraping off trick, and sometimes with hard pan, you just can't save it. And like if you do scrape off the top layer, it'll still get hard pan. Like it's just a case of the formula. So kind of annoying, but all of the other shades performed really well, so I don't really have any complaints other than that shade, and I think that that is the only one that's going to get hard pan. Just from like looking at the other ones in the pans and having used, I think I've used all of them except for that one. This one I've swatched a few times. It seems totally fine, and you can just kind of tell like the first time you put your finger in a shadow if it's going to hard pan or not, and that one I kind of knew right away, sadly, that it was going to do that. So I don't love that shade, but it is what I have on my lid today, and I was able to get it on after like really digging into the pan. And when I say dig, I mean dig. Like I was going like this, and I did get it on my eyes eventually, and it looks beautiful, but yeah, it was a little bit too much work to get there. I did do a little bit of water activated liner as well, and I'm using one from Glisten Cosmetics. This is just my custom made palette that I have full of split liners, and I'm using the purple in this one. I love this little palette. I'm having so much fun with the water activated liners ever since I got them, and I feel like it just adds like a little extra to a look if there's a color that you want to maybe pull into the look that you don't have in the eyeshadows that you want to use. Like today I really wanted to sort of match my t-shirt. I'm wearing like a graphic tee, and I sort of wanted to do the same colors, and I wanted to pull in some purple, and I didn't have any purple in the palette, so it just kind of made sense to do it in this way, and I really like it. I think it turned out really fun, and it was super easy to do. I mean, I just did one of my big wings for hooded eyes. I can link my tutorial up in the corner if you want to check it out, if I can remember. If I don't remember, you want to watch it and I haven't linked it, let me know. For the rest of my face, I'm still using the Sigma bronzer. I've been really liking this. My blush today is actually a shade from the palette in here, and I'm using the shade called Zest. Such a beautiful blush shade. Like I love this as a blush. That is so pretty, and I'm so happy I tried that because I would do that again in a heartbeat. My highlighter today is the Prophecy highlighter from Kaleidos. I feel like my lighting setup is not the best at showing off highlighters, which is really sad, but I don't really know like how to fix it while still keeping everything else the same. Is probably a matter of like where I have my light set up, but it definitely doesn't catch like highlighters as good as it can. But just trust me when I say it's one of my favorite highlighters in my collection, and you can see I had pan in it, so that says a lot. My lashes today are the Unicorn Dream Lashes from, wait, no they're not. These are the Dreamer lashes. I'm like all over the place. I don't even know where most of my lashes are. I think these are just the Dreamer lashes from Unicorn Cosmetics. Like, I can tell just from like the way that they look. Like, these are some of my absolute favorites. I love these so much. And my lip combo today is the same as, well, if the clip that I think is before this, it's the Pat McGrath like glittery lipstick in Flesh Fatale. I've talked about this so many times. I just think it's beautiful, and I'm using the BFF lip liner from Colourpop. So that's what's on my lips today. And I'm just realizing now that I forgot to put mascara on my lower lashes, and I'm like, should I do that? Probably. I'm gonna do that. I don't always like doing that, but I feel like it's just gonna make sense with this look. Yeah, I think that was a good choice. Just using my Bad Gal Bang. And I don't actually have an inner corner shade on today, and I just don't really know what's gonna go with this look. So I'm just gonna leave it off. I'm gonna leave it off for once. I don't usually do that, but I really like this look. I think it's beautiful. My pony is the Alley pony from I&H, if you were curious, because it is getting close to hair washing day, and this is just what we're doing. So I think that's pretty much going to be today's look. I really like this. I think it turned out so good. It's really a shame about the hard pan, but what are you gonna do? Here I have another look with the, that was loud, I'm sorry, Smoky Glam palette from Bella Beauty Bar, and I think you saw a look with this palette in the past Makeup Diaries as well, but I think this is my third look that I've done so far. With the second look, I'll show a picture on the screen. I wasn't able to like film a clip for this video because I was in a hurry, but this is my third look, and today I wanted something, I feel like this doesn't really go with my outfit, and now I feel like I should change, but I really want to wear this dress, so I'm not going to change. But I wanted something that would go with this, but honestly, these aren't the kind of colors that would go with like a very warm tone yellow dress, so this is just what we're doing today. But I'm using this one in my crease, I have this one to deepen it up with, and then this one on my lid. So I only use 3 shades, but I really like the look overall. I just feel like it doesn't really go with like what I have going on. If I was wearing like a pink top or something like that, it would be a little bit more fitting, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna deal with it. But I think it's beautiful. I think the shadows perform really well. I'm having a great time with this palette so far, and I honestly don't really want to put it down because I think it's a really, really nice palette. The formulas perform great, and yeah, I don't really have anything to complain about. For the rest of my face, I'm still using kind of the same products that I have been using. Today I'm using the Pat McGrath bronzer. I've been really enjoying it. I'm using the Noctilucent palette from Blend Money. I'm using the yellow shade as my highlighter. My lip combo is the BFF lip liner from Colourpop, which I feel like I always just get in one of these ruts where if I have a lip liner on my desk, I just use the same one over and over and over again until it ends up in my bag, and then I use something else. That's usually how it goes, and then I'll take all of it out of my bag at some point and like start rotating them again. My gloss today is the Ace Beauté gloss in the shade All That. I really like the color and the formula of that, but I don't love this applicator. Like, it's a little awkward. It doesn't like fit my small lips perfectly, so it's a little bit like just annoying to put on, but I really like it as a gloss. I just wish it had a normal doe foot on it, but I feel like a lot of people are probably gonna like that applicator. It's just that my lips are really small, and so it just, I don't know, it just doesn't work that well. I do have some black in my waterline, which I didn't intend for this look to be as dark as it ended up, but I used black in my waterline yesterday and I wasn't able to like get all of it out, and I didn't want to try to put like yellow over the top of black or something, so I just went with like a smoky eye. This is from Milk, sorry. Milk sent me a package with quite a few of their items, and I've been testing them out, and this is a really nice black eyeliner. Like, I'm not usually someone who does black in the waterline, but I might start now that I have this because it is so black and it wore beautifully, and I don't really have anything bad to say about this liner. I think it's amazing. It also has a little sharpener on the back, which is great. So I really like this liner so far. I wonder if they have other colors. If they have like colors, I might look into picking some up because I really like the formula of it. I think it is really, really nice and long lasting. Let's see, my lashes today are the Flutter lashes from Brights. Wasn't really intending on this kind of a lash with this look. I wanted something like small but not as dense as these. I wish I had kind of a half lash that's longer and like flirtier. These I feel like are a little too thick to go with this look, but what are you gonna do? It's a little too late to change that now. But I really like the look in general. I feel like it's just like my outfit that kind of clashes with it. So I don't know if I should change. I probably shouldn't. I tried to like pull in the yellow here to kind of go with my dress and stuff. And originally I wasn't wearing any blush, but I felt like not wearing blush also made this look a little bit weird. I only had the bronzer on, but I think the blush kind of pulled it together. I'm still using the Besame palette from It's Belle Cosmetics. I really like this palette. The more I use it, the more I like it. I'm just using this shade. Really pretty pink shade. You guys know I love a pink blush, so this one has been right up my alley so far. I have not used the orange one yet, so I'm thinking, depending on what I do in my last look with this palette, probably not going to be able to use this. I feel like it's just not really a warm tone palette. It's more of a cool tone, mauve-y, neutral palette, which I don't have anything against, but I feel like orange is just not really going to go with this palette, so I'm going to have to try that with something else. But yeah, I really like this. My earrings are Ana Luisa, and honestly, they kind of like match my dress perfectly, which is weird. The dress is a maxi dress that I got from Amazon. I will link it down below, as well as all of the other products, obviously, that I'm using, if you want to go check any of it out. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's look. Alright, so this is going to be the next look of the video. I feel like I say that in every like beginning of each new clip, but it's like, what am I supposed to say? But I did end up getting the Natasha Denona palette in the mail. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And I was like, I need to start filming with this ASAP. So this is the Yucca palette, I think is how you say it. This is such a cool grungy color story, and I'm very surprised that so many brands are coming out with these like grungy palettes for summer. It's like this would have been the perfect fall palette, but here we are. And I'm not mad at it. I really enjoy these colors. I think that the color story in this is so fun. Like there are a couple of palettes that are pretty similar that have come out recently. I'm thinking of the Nomad palette. So far, I would say that I like this one a lot more already. I didn't use a ton of shades today. I used this one as a transition shade. This is a cream to powder. I use that as my deepening shade. The only thing I will say about the cream to powders, if you're unfamiliar with that formula from Natasha Denona, is that two things actually. Number one, it definitely shows up lighter on the eyes than it does in the pan. The creams always look darker in the pan than they will do on the eyes. Like that is just kind of what they're like. Some are, you know, almost close to true to pan, whereas others are much lighter. I would say this one is definitely a few shades lighter, but it's a really beautiful formula. I do, however, think that a lot of people won't get along with the cream to powders or cream to mattes. Cream to powder, right? Yeah. I think a lot of people might not get along with them just because I find them to pick up and apply the best with natural hair brushes. I don't have the best luck using synthetic brushes with the creamy mattes from Natasha Denona, so just something to keep in mind. Maybe watch some other reviews from, you know, people that you enjoy and see how they apply their shadows. I usually use my Refer or my What's Up Beauty brushes with the creams, and I don't have any issues. The other thing I want to mention so far with this palette is I feel like this shimmer formula is so much better than what I'm used to with Natasha Denona, and that makes me a little bit worried because if this is the shimmer formula that she's going to have moving forward, I might be buying every single palette because this is so pretty. Like the shade that I used on my eyes today is this one up here. So metallic, so smooth, so just indie shadow quality, and I really like this formula. I think it is so beautiful. It went on so smoothly. It picked up so beautifully on a brush, and I literally have no complaints. I used this shade in my inner corner, and I feel like even though it's a nice shade, it definitely will perform better on top of a white base. So maybe I'll try that as an inner corner shade on top of a white base at some point. This kind of color, that is the only thing that I would do with that shade is use it in the inner corner. I can't really see myself using it in any other way, really. I'm not someone who does mattes on the lid. If you like doing mattes on the lid, that would be a beautiful lid shade, but for me, that's definitely just like an inner corner shade. And I wanted to intensify it a little bit, so I pulled out one of my JD Glow neon liners, and I just did like a small line just in the front portion here because I thought it would just like add a little extra spice to this look, and I really like it. I also bought the eyeliner from the collection. This is the yellow one. I only got one color because I was like, I have the other colors in formulas that I like, so I really don't need them. I do think that the Sephora pencil is very similar to this one, and I don't think you need this. I think you could just buy the one from the Sephora collection. This one is really nice as well. But if you want to get the one from Natasha Denona, I mean, go for it. I think it's beautiful. It went in the waterline really easily. It's nice and opaque, and hopefully it'll wear well. So those are kind of my thoughts on like the collection so far. For the rest of my face today, I'm using the Sigma bronzer. This is the shade called Medium, I guess. Not very exciting. My blush is the Pat McGrath Holiday Palette from 2 years ago, and I'm using this shade. I wanted something kind of warm tone to go with this look because I thought it would look nice. I'm also just using this highlighter on my face. My lashes today are the Darling lashes from Unicorn Cosmetics. These are probably like the more subtle lashes that I have from the brand. They're kind of long, but they're very wispy, so they definitely don't look super dramatic, but they just add like a little bit of wisp, and I really, really like these lashes. I think they're so beautiful. My lip combo today is the BFF lip liner from Colourpop, and I'm using the Velvet Fawn lipstick from Lisa Eldridge. I really like the color of this, but the only thing that is keeping me from using it more is I feel like I need to really hydrate my lips before I use this. It's a very matte formula, and if I don't have any like lip balm or anything underneath, it'll cling to like dry spots and it doesn't apply the best. So if you have dry lips, I don't know if this formula is going to be the best for you, but just make sure that you prep your lips properly if you're going to wear it, because the first time I put this on, I was like, I don't know if I like that, but now that I know that I have to kind of prep my lips, I like it a lot more, and I love the color. I think the color is so beautiful. It could be like my perfect nude. Very close to it, very, very close. Maybe if it was like one smidge more brown tone. It's maybe a little too pink to be like the perfect nude, but it's very close. It's very, very pretty, and I really like it. I also did a little bit of freckles today, which I think that's probably the last thing that I'm going to mention. I'm just using the Lime Crime, tough to say, freckle pens in the shade Amber, and I have the other shade as well. I'm using both today. This is the other shade called Cocoa. Cocoa is the darker one, and this is the lighter one. So yeah, I thought I would just do a little bit of freckles because I just felt like it. My jewelry is from Ana Luisa as per usual, and I think that's pretty much it. I really like this look. I mean, you really can't go wrong with just a green look. So I'm gonna have a good time wearing this the rest of the day. I think this might be the last look of this video, but this is a fun one for me anyway, and I'm really excited about the palette that I used today. But before we get into the palette, let me just tell you the rest of the things that are on my face if you're wondering about my pony today, which I absolutely love all these ponies from I&H. This is the Shayla pony in black brown. Let's see, for my lips today, I know I'm going out of order, but that's just kind of what I'm feeling like today. So I'm using the BFF lip liner from Colourpop, and on top I have the Flower Nose new lip product. I just want to kind of keep using this. I really enjoy it. It's a very lightweight, kind of liquidy but Vaseline-y gloss at the same time. It's a very interesting, I feel like, unique formula that I don't feel like I've tried before. I can't really compare it to anything. It's not the most long lasting, but it just looks really nice, and I am going somewhere today, so I'm just going to bring this in my bag. It's going to be easy to reapply, and you know, eating and drinking is not going to wear off badly. So that's kind of the thought process behind the lip today. I was going to do like a purple lip or something like that, but I felt like the eye look was a little too much for that. So for the eyes today, I'm using the new palette from Bella Beauty Bar, and this is the Smoky Glam. Now, I was originally going to get this at NPR a little bit earlier, but it just ended up getting to me kind of late, and this is what the palette looks like. I'm so excited to have this palette in my collection, honestly. I think it is such a beautiful, it's a very wearable neutral palette, but it's still exciting. It has some really, really pretty shimmers, and I like the, just a variety of the colors in here. I like that it goes from very light to very dark, and I feel like there's a lot you can do with this, despite it being just like a cool tone mommy neutral palette, and I don't feel like I'm gonna get bored with this easily. And I did go with like some of the more poppy shades today. I'm basically just using this shade and this shade, and that's it for like the eyeshadows. I just wanted something super simple. I didn't want to spend forever on my makeup, but I did want to spice it up a little bit, so I used one of my JD Glow liners. I'm tempted to like rebuy these. I've had these for like 3 years now, and they're starting to kind of dry out a little bit, but I really like the formula on these, and they just wear so well on me. Like this and this is not going to budge until I take my makeup off, and I really like that. And I feel like I can trust these a little bit more than like the water activated liners. Like I wouldn't dare putting a water activated liner right here. Like that is a recipe for disaster. If your eye starts to water or something, it's just going to run all over your face, whereas with this it's not going to do that because this is like a very waterproof product. So tempted to repurchase those. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm also still using the new eyeliner from Flower Nose. The more I use this, the more I love it. I think it is such a beautiful, super precise brush tip applicator eyeliner, and if you're looking for a new liquid liner, maybe you're making an order from Flower Nose, you want to try this, Definitely would recommend it so far. I haven't had any problems with it like drying out or anything like that. Just store it upside down. I think it's going to be completely fine for a long time. And I really like it. Like, it wears beautifully as well. I haven't had any issues with it like whatsoever. My lashes today are the Dreamer lashes from Unicorn Cosmetics. Some of my absolute favorites. I like them because I feel like they're flirty and like they flare out nicely. They don't cover up the eye looks too much, but they still add like that extra oomph. And I think they're just very flattering for my eye shape as well. I did put some, it was supposed to be pink in my waterline, like a very light pink, but it turned out to be really just more of like a white. It's a pastel pink from NYX. It kind of just looks white, so what are you gonna do? For the rest of my face, my blush today, I'm using the Besame palette from It's Belle Cosmetics. I keep forgetting that I had this. They sent to me in PR not that long ago, and every time I use it, I love it. I think it is a beautiful formula. I'm just using this one today. And I just wanted like a very, very nice pink blush moment. I'm gonna just put on a little bit more like I usually do after I'm kind of like done with my makeup. I like going back in with my blush after just to intensify it a little bit, because I feel like once the eyes are done, the face can handle a little bit more color just to kind of even things out a little bit. My highlighter today is the Noctilucent palette, and I'm just using the pink shade in here that I love so much. This is the shade called Phenomena, and I just have that pretty much all over. I have it on my brow bone, I have it on my face, on my nose. I think it is just beautiful. So I just wanted something really simple today. My earrings are Ana Luisa, if you were wondering. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm very happy with this look. I like that it's not understated, but it was very simple to do. And from start to finish, if you're wondering like how long, like I get questions about this in real life all the time, like how long does this take you to do your makeup? And it really depends, but like my eye look since I started turning on the camera until I was completely done with lashes and everything was like 24 minutes. So I like to take my time. The rest of my face is usually like 10 to 15 minutes. I'm very quick with like my base routine, my brows and stuff like that. So I don't really spend that much time on like the rest is mostly just the eyes. So like full face of makeup without me like talking and doing anything like that, maybe like 40-45 minutes. So, you know, not that bad for, you know, getting a cute look out of it and feeling pretty the rest of the day. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this Makeup Diaries series. If you want to see some more of these, I will put my playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.